Welcome to our first lesson in the series on polynomials. I hope that you're going to enjoy this different way of presentation. So let's begin by considering what exactly a polynomial is. Polynomial is just an algebraic expression, and it's usually written in terms of decreasing powers of x. It doesn't have to be x, but that's our usual practice. You can only have positive whole number powers of x. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. So in our first example here, this is a polynomial because it has decreasing positive whole number powers of x. So x cubed, x squared, x to the power of 1, and then a number on its own. Our second example is not a polynomial because it has a negative power. So you recall that when you have an x underneath, that's the equivalent of saying x to the minus 4, and minus is not allowed in a polynomial. And our third example is not a polynomial because it has a fractional power. You'll recall that a square root is the equivalent of x to the power of a half, and fractions are not allowed in polynomials. So, given that that's what a polynomial looks like, let's have a look at a couple of definitions. In a polynomial, the leading term is the one that's got the highest power of x. So in this case, 2x to the 6th is the leading term because 6 is the biggest power. The leading coefficient is the number that's associated with that leading term. In this case, 2 is the leading coefficient. The degree is the highest power of x, so in this case the degree is 6. And finally, the constant term is the one that doesn't have any x's, in this case 9. Polynomials are sometimes written using this notation. And we read this, when I read that polynomial, I say p of x. So p of x just means that the value of x, the value of the polynomial, depends on the value of x. And you can put various values of x into the polynomial. So, in our example, p2 means to replace x with 2. So instead of x cubed, I write 2 cubed. Instead of 11x squared, I write 11 times 2 squared. And instead of minus 8x, I write minus 8 times 2. And we evaluate that to get 36. So p of 2 equals 36. And in the second one, if we replace x with minus 1, so instead of x cubed, I write minus 1 cubed. Instead of 11 times x squared, I write 11 times minus 1 squared. And instead of 8x, I write minus 8 times minus 1, and we evaluate that to get 18. So p of minus 1 equals 18. So that concludes our introduction to polynomials. When I see you in class tomorrow, we're going to do some exercises related to those simple introductory concepts. Thanks.